go.
Hey guys, so for a good while now, we've been mentioning how we need to update you guys on what's been going on, and then we figured that we might as well just do it. Why not, you know? A lot has been happening, so we're going to give you the condensed version, not go into too many details because it would just be too much.
Plus, I'm holding the camera straight, so it can't be too long.
So, yeah, and if it kind of gets, the angle gets a little messed up, just bear with us. So let's see, where do we start? Where do we start?
Let's start in March.
Okay.
Well, let's start in February.
Okay.
Let's start last year.
No.
All right, so let me tell this part of the story, okay? There's been a lot going on, guys, okay? So I used to work at a company. I don't want to mention the company because I don't want any legal issues. But I used to work at a company, and there was, I used to do sales for them, and they did a whole change in regards to their system. And because of that system change, I really wasn't able to perform at the level that I'm used to perform at. I mean, I was a top-ranked representative for years over there. And after they did their change, it really wasn't accessible for me. As you guys know, I'm legally blind, and I need specific software to do my job. And the software just wasn't meshing well with what they did in regards to the system. So, so I started this whole dispute with my company. I tried to do this very civilly, without any issues, and unfortunately, I just had no assistance. I was getting nowhere in regards to getting things done. So, so I contacted the EEOC. Which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, to really get them going, and that really got the company upset in regards to that. You know, even though they're not supposed to show retaliation or act on any retaliatory measures, they did. You know, they started writing me up for the dumbest things in the world, even to the point where, as in February, I was fired from my job. Because of the reason they gave me was I was keeping people on hold for too long. That actually being one of the complaints that I was giving them, because of the whole software change and the accessibility, that I couldn't tell the difference between the hold button and the end button. They looked very similar. So so that's what happened in February.
It sort of breaks down to, we feel like he was being extremely discriminated against, and we kind of got, to be very honest, screwed, and that's pretty much what happened. And that was over a course of more than a year. So you could imagine the stress we were under. It wasn't easy, and it was a rough time. So then come right after the baby's birthday, it was
literally
a few days after.
Just a few days after the baby's birthday, I lost my job.
And it was rough. It was just like, oh my God, what do we do now? And at that point is when we decided, well, actually the funny thing is, I remember I was sitting on my couch. I don't remember what I was doing, but my husband came up to me and he was like, what if we do this? And he just came up to me with this idea about starting a nonprofit organization, distributing Braille copies of English translations of the Quran and other Islamic literature to the blind community, to the blind Muslim community, to the Muslim community, to different mosques, libraries, wherever these books would be taken, we would do it, and we would do it free of charge. The thing is that the Muslim community, and by the way, this is kind of a serious video, I guess, more serious than what we're used to doing. So,
we still have fun.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more serious. So the Muslim community, the blind Muslim community, very, very honestly, very bluntly, is extremely underrepresented, and there's a lot of stigma, and there's a lot of barriers, and there's no other way to say it. We're just underrepresented.
And I mean, don't get us wrong. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there internationally when it comes to like just really the Quran in Arabic Braille, because there are different kinds of Brailles. Different languages have different Brailles. There's a lot of Arabic Braille. First, it's extremely hard to get your hands on just speaking to other blind people. And there was nothing at all for, like, for example, people like my wife who does not know how to read Arabic, who was interested in Islam, or, who became a Muslim and wants to learn more about a religion. There's barely anything at all that is in English and in Braille. Nothing in the United States whatsoever, nothing in Canada, so nothing in North America at all. And if there is something like it, it's expensive. It's not for free. So during the whole time of me.
Boys, it's okay. Bella, go get your sister. Sorry about that, guys. We're
Hey, guys,
outside.
we're outside. The kids are playing.
So-
Noah got wet, and he doesn't like getting
Yeah.
wet. He's like me. He doesn't
Bella,
like the
go
water.
get your sister. Make sure you go get your sister.
So during that whole time, I was going through the whole Cablevision thing. I was looking for another job,
Oh, you just
and
totally.
what?
Edit that.
What happened?
You just totally have to edit that out.
What?
You said you didn't want to say the company's name, and you just totally said it.
You know what? I don't care. So during the whole time, I had an issue with that company. I was looking for another job, and every time I would speak to someone or I'll send in a resume, I always hear, "Oh yeah, great, we can't wait to meet you." And then they'll meet me, and I'll tell them I'm legally blind, and I'd get an email back saying, "Oh, we found a better candidate."
Every
was
time, without fail.
it was ridiculous.
And then, people don't understand, and we would talk to others about this, and they would say, well, it's hard to get a job. It's hard to get jobs nowadays. Just keep looking. Well, people don't understand, and I really don't mean to be rude, but you're telling me this from a sighted person's viewpoint. You haven't, I really don't mean to be rude, but you haven't walked an inch, let alone a mile in our shoes, and you can't sit there and tell me that our experience is the same as yours. You can see you don't have a disability. For people like us who have a disability, who are blind, or any kind of disability, the odds of getting employment are extremely slim. Okay, it's very, very difficult. You could have all the schooling behind you, you could have tons of degrees, and it is still difficult to get a job. People have a misconception. They have this, and I'm going to be blunt, ignorant idea that because you have a disability, because you're blind, you will not be able to do the same tasks as everyone else. They don't realize that all you need is maybe a bit of modification, and you can do the job as good or even better than the person that they're looking at, your sighted counterpart. It's a struggle. It's a struggle that is very real. For people to be dismissive of it, I think is very disrespectful.
So during like close towards the beginning of the year, Yadida wanted to really start learning about the religion, because she homeschools, so she wants to teach the kids more about our faith. And we looked again for resources in Braille.
No, before he continues, thank you, Mama. Before he continues, there is things in audio, okay? It's not that there's no audio. There's plenty of audio available. But the thing is that, why, as a blind person, should I be limited? If my sighted counterparts can choose to listen to something or choose to read something for themselves, I think that as a human being, I should have the same right, and so should every other blind person. You just put a bug on me. Thank you, Mama. Sorry.
That was great, Sohaila. 10 points.
What was I saying? I'm sorry.
Talking about the audio.
Okay, yeah. I think that as a human being, the ability to read, to be literate, that is a God-given right. It is something that every person on this earth should have. And I think that it would only be fair that we should have the same rights as our sighted counterparts. So that's where the idea stemmed from, to start an organization where, there is a very real need for a very real market. Why don't we do this? It's a non-profit organization. We're helping the community. We're helping ourselves. We're doing good. And you know what? It's work, but it's something we love, so it doesn't feel like work. And so that's where all that started.
So that's where the idea of Islam by Touch came by. That's Islam by Touch. That's Yadida's name. She came up with the name. And it's our organization, extremely small board, which me and Yadida are 2/3 of that board. And we take care of all the day-to-day operations.
And beyond providing these books and providing the opportunity and the recourses for people to be able to read for themselves, that brings dignity, it brings validation, it brings respect, independence, and those are all things that the blind community really, should be afforded without it having to be a struggle. This is something that everyone should be afforded. And, alongside with doing these books and eventually getting to children's books and things like that, we also strive to bring awareness of the blind community to the rest of the Muslim community, to show that, we're here, we have a voice, we're just as valid as you are. We don't need to be taken care of, so to speak. We don't need to be pitied. We don't need to be treated as a charity case. We are human and just as valuable as the rest of you. And that is something that is very important to me. And as a guide dog user, another aspect of it is trying to break that stigma that a lot of Muslims do tend to have towards guide dogs and the use of guide dogs. And you don't have to use it, you can just use a cane. Again, it's all about personal choice, preference, the ability to choose. That is something that no one should ever take for granted. You have no idea what it feels like, if you've never had that, been put into that position where you cannot choose, where you don't have an option. You should be very grateful for that. because when you're put in a position where people are telling you how you should manage your disability and what you should be doing with it and how you should feel about it, that is something that no one has the right to do that. So, sorry for going on my rant,
but yeah,
it's
and then lastly, it's something whereas we can change the narrative amongst the non-Muslim population of the blind and visually impaired
It's not
too.
necessarily about
we
converting,
want,
but it's about bringing information, about opening your eyes. We're not what the media portrays us.
And we're not dumb. We know only thing that's being put out there is ISIS this and terrorist that.
And we're
you know
not,
what I mean? And
no.
we're not that.
I mean, look at us.
If you guys have been following our videos for the past God knows how many years,
2 years almost.
You know we're not that.
Right. We're just like everyone else, trying to raise our kids to be full of love and respect and acceptance and to do good in this world, to make your stamp in this world and make it one that counts, make it one that changes the world for the better. That's the goal. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to instill in our children. We're not bad. We're not bad people.
So anyway,
I need to change my clothes.
Are you wet? Okay.
All right,
you
let's
may
finish.
Go ahead. No, you can go inside. Go ahead.
Go change your
Go
clothes.
change your clothes, baby.
I want to see how money is wet.
Okay.
Go change your clothes. Della, stop spilling water on everybody,
He
okay?
doesn't like that, okay?
I'm just going to spill on me.
It's fine.
That's fine, honey. If you're okay with that, that's fine.
But
Okay, honey. It's
but
all
that
right. Go
that
change.
came up. We started the organization in March, so so things are going great. For about a month and a half, just me going
Well, the
around.
organization is doing well. You know, this.
Yeah, organization is going great, but that's where we're at, right? We started the organization. I've been going around trying to raise funds up until this day. Still going around fundraising. IslambyTouch.com if anyone wants to throw us a couple dollars.
We'll put if you just want to check out the website, we'll put the website and the Facebook page, so you can check it out in the description.
Yeah, we've been putting in the other descriptions too for the past couple days. So, but go ahead, Dita. What happened in April?
So then, at the end of April, Suhaila went for a routine checkup, and I have been on the fence. My husband can attest to this. Whether I was going to share this or not, it's still something that's difficult for me. We went for a routine blood work, and as you guys know, in a routine blood work, there is lead screening.
At least in New
At
Jersey.
least in New Jersey. So, and where we lived, it was a very urban area. So it turns out that she got her blood work and we were expecting to be fine. And 2 days after her blood work, we got a call from our pediatrician saying that her blood levels were elevated. I cannot tell you what that does to you. When you find out your child has lead poisoning, your world stops. Everything crashes. It's like you cannot breathe. The thought that something could go horribly wrong with your child. And here's the thing, she showed no symptoms. And check her, please. Still shows no symptoms. Della, keep an eye on your sister there.
She's choking me.
Hey,
Yeah,
look.
that's what I said.
I
Check
got
her.
it.
Go
Come here,
grab her.
baby.
Mommy,
Della, stop that. Okay?
Don't do that. Grab the baby.
Come on, stop.
Mommy.
No money comes. All right.
Did you get the baby?
Come here, you okay?
Okay. Sorry about that. Are you gonna edit this?
No.
Okay. This is parenting. This is real. This is life. She's good.
This is life.
So what was I saying? Yeah. So she showed no signs whatsoever. The only reason we found out is because her levels came up in the blood work.
Yeah.
Her levels were not so high that she
Right.
needed chelation therapy or any type of treatment. They were at a 25. They don't start that until 45. The number's at 45. They were elevated enough to be very concerned, or quite concerned. The health department did get involved. We had an inspector come to our home because we had no idea what could possibly have caused her to have lead poisoning. It turns out that where we were living, the home was covered in lead. I mean, there was so much lead. It was like, there's different levels of where, when you're going to do lead abatement, and then levels that are required. It's like 1 through 5. 1 being the least, 5 being the most. Our house was at a level 4 for lead abatement, so it was bad. So once the inspector came in and she informed us that yes, there was lead everywhere, that same day, there was no time to think, there was nothing. We picked up whatever we could put in my in-laws van and packed up whatever was very small amount, because it's just a van, you know. We took what we could and we just left. We left to my in-laws. We immediately got out of that. I'm very grateful that we had somewhere to go, because if I didn't, I would have gone crazy. And the worst thing you can do, by the way, is Google. Don't ever do it. Don't. because everything that could possibly go wrong when it comes to lead, that's what you will find, and there is no ray of hope online. Not a single one. Your child is destined to be, I don't want to say damaged because that's an ugly word, but your child is destined to be harmed, and for the harm to be, it's inevitable. Your child will be this, your child will be that, they will be delayed, they will be ADD or ADHD, there will be all kinds of, don't Google it, okay? Now, I talked to my pediatrician about it, and he exactly said that, don't worry yourself about it. Right now, she's looking great, and her numbers weren't high enough to
go help him
start
get clothes, guy.
treatment. So you should be okay. She's doing great, and she really is. She is actually advanced. She's talking a whole lot. She started walking at 10 months. She is extremely intelligent. You show her something once, like for example, I showed her what a star is, and that was one time, and now she knows what they are. I show her anything, and immediately she picks up on it. She's extremely intelligent. She loves to dance. She loves to sing. She loves Elmo and Mickey, and she's very social, and she's doing great. My pediatrician really did help. He said I don't have anything to worry about. We put her on iron supplements just to be on the safe side, and it really has worked. A month after we got her initial blood work, her numbers went down to 18 already. We just got her blood work done today, and we should find out the results in a few days, and I will update with those. So things are looking better. She's doing great. Again, she's not showing any symptoms. She's not even showing any they tell you on Google that it will disturb her sleep pattern. To be honest with you, she's doing a lot better with her sleep. For a while I was a little freaked out that her brain was getting affected, because like at my in-laws she wasn't sleeping that well, but I also think that it was 2 months living at my in-laws, 2 months of not being home, not having our own home, of being someone else's home, of being, having to stay in one room with me, the 3 kids and a dog, and my husband sleeping in the living room. They did the best they could, and I truly appreciate what they did. For 2 months we were there, but it's not the same as having your own home. It's not the same as the kids being able to have their own room, their own space. So 2 months of living with that was kind of tough, and then we fall back on the discrimination issue. We started, for a while we were debating whether we were just going to get the house fixed or not, but our lovely governor here in Jersey, he gutted the lead abatement program, and so there was no money, and getting a house lead abated is extremely expensive, and so we just decided it was better to just, it was time to move. That's it. That was God's way of telling us, you need to leave, you need to find your own place. So we looked and we saw a couple places. We saw this one home where, it was nice. It was a whole 1-family house, and it was a really nice place. And the lady literally told me, I like you guys, and I would love to rent to you, but you're blind. You might set my house on fire when you try to cook.
Literally.
She literally told me that. And that is like, it doesn't matter how many times you hear that, it is a strong slap to the face when you hear someone tell you that. It is a reminder of you are not, it just makes you feel like you're not good enough. You will never be good enough, and it's a horrible feeling that I would never wish on anyone else. A few days later, she actually called us and said, listen, do you want to see the house again? Because it seemed like she wanted to rent to us, and we said no, absolutely not. I was not going to rent from a place, and I told my husband, I do not want to rent from a place where I'm going to be watched. Every move I make is going to be scrutinized. Hi, Vivi. Lala's upstairs, I think. No, there he goes. He came out. Go get that.
So we vehemently decided against that place,
because you know what, there's no reason why we should have to subject ourselves to discrimination. There's no, and we're living there. No, there's just no reason for that. So whatever, I mean, it took a little longer, and then we eventually found the place that we live now. It is a wonderful place. I love it. I couldn't be happier. It was a long and tough road, but we finally landed on happy, and it was, I believe that everything happens for a reason. My husband and I are so connected. The children are so happy. All 3 are doing so healthy. We have my dog. Somewhere in between all of this mess that I just told you, I also did my training with Hazel. That was another thing. That happened back in March. So, that was a good thing, but it was a lot of work. And so much was going on the past couple months. This is why we took a hiatus from YouTube. It was just, and then at one point we were deciding, is it worth going back to do this, or is it better to leave it? And you know what, I really enjoy doing it. I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. It's a small channel, but I love doing what I do, and why stop? Why let any negativity get in the way of something you love? So this is where we're at. We finally moved. we're finally in a really good place. Our organization is doing really well. Our children are healthy. We are happy. My husband and I are healthy. The dog is doing great. And we couldn't be happier.
Go inside and change.
Okay, honey.
Yeah, buddy, take your shoes off before you go inside, though.
Okay. Yeah, leave them at the door by the
You heard?
the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because they're all...
There might be money inside because we were walking back and forth.
Thank
Okay.
you. Go clean it.
That's okay. That's okay. No, I got it. Just go inside and change. Yeah, so that's it. I'm sorry for all the interruptions.
The basement door,
Thank you,
okay?
baby.
It says it's low battery.
Okay, honey.
It's only like 10%.
Got it.
Yeah, so okay. This is where we're at. Where we are sorry for the delayed update. Sorry for the very long video. But we hope you guys can understand where we're coming from. And you know, if there's, again, if you're going through a situation where you're having to deal with lead poisoning, don't dismiss it as something that's not important. You know, if it's a big deal, but your kids will be fine. They'll be fine. And what I mean by saying is don't dismiss it as unimportant is because the reason that the governor slashed the program is because now in Jersey the rates have fallen to below 50%, so he doesn't believe it a big enough issue to address any
Okay, we'll
longer.
be right in, guy.
That's not fair to families like us who have to deal with, and people who are in worse situations. We had my in-laws, but there's people who don't have anything or anyone, and that's not fair for them to have to go through that, to have to leave their home, leave everything behind, because the safety of your children comes first and foremost before anything. So it's not fair to have to kind of walk this road alone. And I'm grateful that we had my in-laws and we had a place to stay, but it was tough. It was very tough. And even more grateful, that I am for that. I'm more grateful for the fact that my daughter is doing extremely well. She's thriving. She's not just doing well. She's not just sort of surviving or managing this. You wouldn't even be able to tell. She's doing great. Her numbers are dropping, and we couldn't be happier. Okay, I think I've said a lot.
Yeah.
And so at this point, I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below, or you can go ahead and comment to me on Twitter or my Facebook page, and I can get back to you through there. And yeah, check out the website for our organization and check out the Facebook page, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.